Haggai, Haggai, chapter 2, verses 8 and 9. The silver is mine, and the gold is mine, saith the Lord of hosts. The glory of this latter house shall be greater than of the former, saith the Lord of hosts. And in this place will I give peace, saith the Lord of hosts. That is not about to be how you think it's about to be. God is not about to get you a gold chain. You're not about to have another. It's not how it sounds. This is what it's about. So God comes and he says, the silver is mine and gold is mine. But this is why he said it. So I'm going to give you a real fast forward. So God's people were in captivity. When their people got taken into captivity, when they came and took the people, they also ransacked the temple and burnt it down or whatever. And that was Solomon's temple. If you ever heard of Solomon's temple, it was beautiful. It was gold. It was decked out. It was crazy looking. Okay. Now, fast forward, God gets his people out of captivity. And when they get out, everybody just goes home and starts building their own house back. And God peeps like, okay, you over there getting your little deck together. Okay, you got another garage. Okay, I see you painting. And he's just like, so ain't nobody going to go fix the temple and build the temple? So what he did was he kind of stopped blessing them. And then he let them know, I stopped blessing you because all of y'all are just working on your own houses. And there's a whole word in that, but I'm not even going to go there. Okay, so when they peeped, like, oh, okay, so let's go do that. So then they went and they rebuilt the temple. And then after they were done building the temple, the people who had been old enough to see the first temple, Solomon's temple, were looking at the new temple like, I mean, y'all did okay, but it ain't like the one we had. That type of thing. And all of the people kind of agreed, like, I mean, yeah, the temple's back, but it ain't Solomon's temple. It ain't the decked out gold and all this stuff. Because Solomon's temple literally was like crazy looking. Okay? So that's where they're at. And then that's in step God. And God says, hold up. The silver is mine and the gold is mine. And what he's saying is, if I wanted it to look like that old one, I got it. I could have easily blessed y'all with the gold and with the silver, and we could have easily rebuilt the old temple. But yet in that next verse, he says, the glory of this latter house shall be greater than of the former. And in this place will I give peace. And that's what brought me to the scripture, because that's what God is saying to us. He's trying to tell you, if I wanted to bring back your glory days, I can. If I wanted the relationship to be how it used to be, I can do that. If I wanted your popularity to be how it was in high school, I can do that. If I wanted you to have the same amount of money as you had back when you was 19, I can do that. The silver is mine. The gold is mine. So basically what God is saying is, it ain't like I don't got it. So since I have it, but yet that's not what we did. And at the same time, I'm telling you that this one's better. Maybe you need to change your perspective to see what I see. Because so many times whenever God comes speaking to us, you're going to be blessed. It's going to be abundant. It's going to be big. It's going to be better. And it should be. Your life at 35 should be better than what it was at 25. And then at 45, it should be even better than that. So when God tells you your latter days, which means the end of your days, are going to be better than the beginning of your days, and that's what he's saying to us in this verse, we need to believe him. But so many times when we hear that, we compare better to our best. But what if God's better is new? And if you're only comparing it to your best, that means you're only comparing what he's saying to what you've seen. So when God says your best days are in front of you, you look behind you and you say, okay, well, my best days, my glory days was doing this. So that's what you expect God to bring back. Or you at least expect what God to do to be looking like that. And I've done that too. I've heard you're about to get blessed. And me, in my small mind, the only blessed that I can imagine is I'm about to hit the lottery. And I'm not saying God can't let you hit the lottery, but what I'm saying is sometimes God is speaking things to us and we're trapped. Not in what he's saying, but what we've saw. So when he says your best days are in front of you, you look back at your glory days. So now you expect the best days to look like those glory days. When God says, I'm going to restore the relationship, you expect the relationship to go back to how it was. But what if what God is doing is new? What if your best days really are in front of you, but they're going to look nothing like the old temple? And you got to be okay with that, because what these people didn't realize is what God was honestly trying to tell them is you're seeking your old glory days. You're seeking that temple that was decked out in gold. But I'm seeking my glory, and I'm seeking what I'm doing now. And instead of chasing your glory days, God is telling you, yeah, you did have more money back then, but you didn't have me. Yeah, you were the man in high school, but your soul wasn't cleaned. Yeah, you were getting a lot of glory in your glory days, but those glory days were bringing me no glory. So when God says your best days are in front of you, he's talking to you about you're about to bring me more glory than you've ever brought me. But if all you care about whenever you hear your best days are in front of you is your own glory, then yeah, you might be surprised that what God is doing doesn't look like what you had in mind. Because we like to think that we hear these big things from God, but we like to think that so God's going to do it the way that I imagine. But yet he tells us, my thoughts are not your thoughts. My thoughts are higher than your thoughts. And then he tells you, I can do past what you can imagine. And yet we hear that and we claim exceedingly and abundantly past all that I can hope for and imagine. But yet whenever it's come times to manifest our blessings, we want it to look like how we imagined. That's not what the verse said. The verse said, I'm going to do past what you can imagine. So if I'm going to do past what you can imagine, how are you expecting it to look like how you had in mind and what you imagined? That's what they mean when they tell you God's going to blow your mind. And I'm not saying that where God is taking you isn't about to be fancy. I'm telling you that above all, he's going to get the glory. So you have the days in front of you where God's going to get glory, and then you have your glory days behind you. You need to be okay with the fact that what's in front of you isn't going to look like what's behind you. God doesn't have to do it the way you think for it to be better. You need to trust better in God's hands. Because sometimes what we imagine as better, if God was to give us that, we wouldn't like it. So you need to just trust that when it comes to good, bad, better, things like this, God knows best, because he knows what's in my mind and my heart, but he also knows what's in other people's minds and other people's hearts. And he knows what I'm thinking, but he also knows what's going to happen that year and what this is going to, and what car crash is going to happen on that. Like, he knows everything. So when he tells you this is the best route, but all you're looking at is, well, no, Lord, I can get there quicker this way. Maybe what you're not seeing is, yeah, boy, but if you go that way, there's going to be a car crash. So that's why you need to just trust you're better in God's hands and trust that that's my pops. So I trust that he's going to do right by me. It all goes to, who do you trust in? Do you trust in the glory that you get, that you can see, that you can plan for, that you can prepare for? Or do you trust in the fact that I'm in God's hands? If God says my days in front of me are going to be better than my days behind me, then all I need to do is look behind me and say goodbye. And then look in front of me with expectation to my Father that you know best. I'm connected to you. Let's do it. But all of those, it has to happen this way or that way with this person and this time. And I got to get married in spring and it has to be these white flowers. Like, maybe you need to just let go of that and just connect to God and say, I trust you as my wedding planner, as my life planner, as my financial advisor, as my real estate agent. I trust you with it all. Matter of fact, the only thing I'm going to be in charge of, Lord, is what I wear today. I'm gonna wear black if that's okay. God don't care what you wear. So I'm going to throw this black on, Lord. But other than that, where I go, what I say, what I do, who I bless, who blesses me, what route we take, when we get there, how we get there, what happens when we get there, that's all in your hands, Father. When you start approaching your days like that, where I'm about to just pick this outfit out because God don't care what I wear. But then from there, Jesus, take the wheel. Watch how fast you hit those God's getting the glory days. Watch how fast God can expedite and accelerate you to your promised land, to your blessing, because finally you get it. That he's in control and that he knows best. And you're just along for the ride. Because the thing is, when you are along for the ride, God will let you keep the change. Yeah, you're going to get some money. You're going to have to give some money to some other people, but God will let you keep the change. Yeah, you're going to have to, hit this stage. And when you hit this stage, you're going to give God glory, but God will let you keep the change. Yeah, you're going to get this and you're going to get that. You're going to get this, but then it's going to be coming through you. So you're going to be giving things and blessing others. And it's not just about you. It's about your family. It's about your circle of influence. It's about your friends. It's about your old community. It's about your town. It's about where you're going. It's about where you've been. It's about everybody who knows you being able to look at your life and say, dang, that's God. But God will let you keep the change. Trust me. You're not going to be left wanting as God is getting the glory out of your life. You're not going to be left in lack as God is getting the glory out of your life. You're going to go along for the ride, and trust me, he'll let you keep the change. God bless.